you guys, and welcome back to the channel. You guys, it is Vlogmas day 15, and today we are going to talk about how to become a travel medical assistant. So if you are interested in this video or think about becoming a travel medical assistant or have thoughts about it or not sure how it works, I suggest you get a notepad and a pen and let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna be talking from the top of my brains. I'm gonna try very hard to not make this video all over the place, so bear with me. I didn't prep anything for this video, guys, but we'll roll through, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment down below. I'll be sure to answer them to the best of my ability. So the first thing we're going to talk about the 3 agencies that I applied to, and we're going to talk about them, and then we're going to move on from there. So the first agency that I applied to was Aya Healthcare. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Aya Healthcare, I think. That was the first agency that I applied to. I applied, put in my information, uploaded my documents, everything that they asked for. I filled it out. After I filled out everything, they told me that I need to wait for a recruiter to reach out to me to help me find jobs. And then they also left an email that if I needed help, that I can email the recruiter. Nevertheless, nobody responded to me or ever reached out to me to this day. And I started looking travel medical assistant jobs since like last year, November, over a year now, and no one has reached out to me from Aya Healthcare. So that is that for Aya Healthcare, you guys. The next agency that I applied to was Fusion Marketplace. Fusion Marketplace, I found it on not Facebook, because I don't have Facebook. I found it on Instagram, actually, from a travel nurse. So I signed up for Fusion Marketplace. I signed up just like Aya. Nobody responded to me. Nobody reached out to me. However, Fusion Marketplace, they always send those emails out. Like, you know, when you subscribe to a newsletter, they send you all these emails. So they're sending me emails, and one day I came across this email that says, if you are looking for a recruiter, find a recruiter here. So basically, I clicked the link in the email and you look for your job position. If you don't find like medical assistant, like patient care technician, like all of them is basically the same thing. So anywho, I clicked the link, I went on the medical assistant, and I looked for recruiters. I reached out to the first 3, you guys, and out of the 3 recruiters, one responded to me, and she gave me like a list of documents she needed. I sent her all the documents she asked for, and that was it, you guys. She responded and was like, oh, thank you, I received them, blah 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 blah. But then nothing never happened. I would like email her and follow up with her and ask her like, what's the progress of like finding a job, da 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 da. She never helped. She just basically left me hanging. You guys. She never replied, like nothing. So I was over it. So anywho, the next agency I also found on Instagram was Medely. So I applied to Medely, and with Medely, they only give you like a half application to begin with. And it's basically the basics, like your name, address, phone number, you know, the basic. And then after like 2 weeks, I got an email to schedule an interview with a Medely recruiter. So after I scheduled an interview, on the day of the interview, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the interview was maybe like about an hour long, So I had the interview, and then I got accepted to be a travel medical assistant for Medely, and that's when we get started. We are gonna talk about Medely, the agency that I worked for, because I currently do not work as a medical assistant at this point. But I'm here to help you guys. All right, you guys. So Medely is not only just a travel agency. You're not only gonna see travel medical assistant work on there. They also have per diem work. So you can find jobs in your area for like 1 or 2 days. You just do per diem shifts here and there if you want to. Like for me, I live in New York, so my region for Medley is considered New York and New Jersey. So whenever there is a pop-up shifts or per diem shift that popped up, they will like send me a text message and let me know, hey, there's a per diem shift available, such and such and such. They will either send me for in New York or in New Jersey. So I have the option to do per diem shifts or travel contract shifts. So that's Medley. So now I'm gonna tell you guys the requirements for Medley. So the requirements for Medley is basically easy. You just need 1 year work experience as a medical assistant. You either need the medical assistant associate's degree or the certificate. And when I said certificate, I meant from an accredited agency like AAMA or NHA, or like one of those that give you accreditation for medical assistant. You need one of those certifications. Another requirement is basic knowledge of your skills, like blood pressure, how to do a blood pressure manually and not just with a machine, how to do EKG, how to check your weight with like those old-fashioned scales and not digitally. They also like the basic stuff of phlebotomy, knowing which tubes are first, which color are first, the steps of phlebotomy. Like you have to know those stuff in order to be considered for a job on Medley. And another thing too, you guys, they also want you to not just know like the clinical aspects of medical assistant. They also want you to know the administrative parts. Like they want you to know how to verify insurance, take medical history, collect co-payments, like all those type of stuff. They also want you to know, because not all medical assistant job have you do back of the office jobs, have you do back of the office work. They also have you do front of the office work as well. So you do need to know both type of jobs when you're applying for a travel medical assistant job. Because if you're gonna apply to a travel medical assistant job, like you don't know like where the job gonna put you, so you want to make sure that you know like the basics of everything. We are moving on to the application process of Medley. So like I told you guys, when I first applied, it was half an application, just like your name, your date of birth, social, like your basic information, upload your resume, your work history, those type of stuff. And then I guess they review your application and then reach out to you with an interview. Like I said before, the interview took 2 weeks. Well, it took 2 weeks for them to reach out to me for an interview. On that day, a recruiter called me. She introduced herself, tell me about Medley, all the good stuff you want to hear. And then after, she basically had like a little interview type of thing where she asks you about your skills, asks you about your work history, why you want to become like a travel medical assistant. She asked me things like, what's the order of blood drawn for phlebotomy, how to apply leads for EKG, if I know how to set up for like a pap smear, if I know how to check the blood pressure. Like she had me go through the steps of a manual blood pressure without like if you had to use your stethoscope and the pump and pump it up, like you had to, like she had me go through the whole steps of the blood pressure. What else? Oh, she also asked me like if I had like any experience in like any specialties. So if you have like experience in specialties, that's also a plus for you. Also, what else? I'm trying to think of what else. It was like basically like a little interview process just to go over your skills and make sure you know what you're doing pretty much before they send you out to work. So that's basically what the phone call was. And then she also talked about like the paychecks, the housing stipend, stuff like that. She talked about like taxes stuff. Just so you guys know, Medley do not take taxes out your paycheck. So that was another thing. So we basically talk about all that during the interview process. And then after the interview, I guess I passed the interview. So she opened up the full application and she told me like, congratulations, you are now like a Medley medical assistant. After the interview process, she basically told me like, oh, congratulations, you are now part of the Medley. And then she opened up my application. Remember I told you guys the application was like half of an application. They only asked for certain stuff. So after I passed the interview, she asked for all the other stuff, like a physical, an updated physical within 1 year, the vaccines. They asked for specific types of vaccine. They also wanted a tuberculosis test or a chest x-ray, and that had to be within 1 year as well. They asked for COVID vaccine. They asked for your degree or your MA certificate. They asked for all those stuff. They also asked for like your driver's license, and you had to upload all those stuff. Another thing too, you have to have a BLS or a CPR card. That's very, very important, and that's one of the requirements to also working as a travel medical assistant. So she asked for all those, and I had to upload them on the website. It took like 2 to 3 days for them to review. Once everything was reviewed and approved, I was ready to work, you guys. So that was it. The review process took about 2 to 3 days. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty fast. So that didn't take long. And then I was ready to work, you guys, in like 3 days or so. So the whole process from when I applied to being ready to work took about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks. Compared to like AYA or Fusion Medical Staffing, to this day, after 1 year, still nothing. But anywho, it is time to start working. So I live in New York. For those of you who do not know, I currently live in New York. So there's a lot of jobs here in New York. Like New York was one of the most populous states that have a lot of travel jobs. So since I already live in New York and it was my first time doing a contract job as a travel medical assistant, I decided to choose a job here in New York first, just to see how it works, see how it flows, see if I would like it, instead of like traveling somewhere, stuck in a contract, you know. So I was like, you know what, let me just try one of these jobs here in New York first and see how I like it, see how it goes, and and then we'll go from there. So I look through the job, read through the information, read through the details of what they would like me to do. That was the first orthopedic job, you guys. And also my first time in orthopedic. So even though I never worked in orthopedic before, the requirements was the basics, basically vitals and taking medical history and knowing how to check diabetes or A1C or glucose check, I should say. So those I basically know how to do, so that was no problem. Even though it was a new specialty that I've never worked in, it was fine for me. So I went ahead and applied. After I applied, it took 1 day for the job to reach out to me and basically give me like another mini interview as well and ask me a few questions and so forth and so forth. And it's very important they do this before you book a contract job and you're stuck in the contract, you don't know what you're doing or you don't know what you're supposed to do. So they actually reach out to me, or you can reach out to them if you want. There's a phone number to the manager. Once you apply, you see those information, like the details of the location of the place, what facility it is. Like sometimes it could be a clinic or a hospital. They give you like parking information. the pay rates, like everything they show you. And they also give you like a number for the manager, so once you apply you can call and reach out and ask all the questions you want to ask before you basically jump into something you don't know what you're getting yourself into, pretty much. So I applied and the manager reached out to me, and then he basically was like, asked me a few questions, asked me if I know what to do. He also explained to me like the flow of the place. He's like, all you have to do is just basically bring the patient in, ask them a few questions like their medical history, do their vitals, and then hand them over to the nurse for their surgery. So I was like, okay, cool, that's easy. I'm ready for that. That's easy. I could do that. And my contract was 6 weeks, you guys, for 6 weeks, and each week I got $932. If you work overtime, you get more. If you work less than your 40 hours, you get less. So that was my first contract job, you guys. So after that first contract job was completed, after that first contract job was completed, I did not go on any other contract job because that place asked me to work there. So I was working there per diem. So I did not go to any other travel jobs. But sometimes I'd be tempted to go, but now I'm in a different field because I'm taking a break from medical assistant. But yeah, I'm just here to share with you guys my experience and help you guys out if you guys are interested. But anywho, you guys, moving on. All right, you guys, so moving on to the pay, the housing, the money, taxes, all the complicated stuff. So on the job, it tells you how much hours you're gonna work, what days you're gonna work, how much money you're gonna get paid. Medely pays for your lunch. They do not take lunch out. You get paid from when you start to when you end. All the breaks you get, you're getting paid for that. Medley pays for all that. So with Medley, you get paid every week. Every week you get paid. I forgot if you got paid on the Wednesday or if you got paid on the Thursday. I honestly don't remember. But if you're in a contract job with Medley, you get paid either every Wednesday or every Thursday. And if you're doing a per diem shift, like you just do one shift here and one shift there, with that, you get paid every 2 days. You get paid within 2 days after you complete your shift. So that's how they pay you. And with the pay, they do not take taxes out. At the end of the year, you do not get a W-2. You get a 1099. 1099 basically means you're an independent contractor. You have to do your own taxes, and at the end of the year, they take it out, or you owe the government, or however it works. That's basically how it works. They do not take taxes out, you guys. So warning, they do not take taxes out. So for me, when I did the contract jobs, I knew, the lady explained to me that they're not gonna take taxes out. So just be prepared. As my tip to you is whenever you get paid, to take some money out your paycheck and set it aside for taxes. I don't know the exact percentage, how much you should take out for taxes, but I'll tell you right now, because I learned the hard way, okay? I had to pay back the government when I did my taxes. But I'm gonna help you guys out so you guys don't be stuck in this funk like me. Hold on. All right, y'all. So according to Google said 20 to 35%. We'll do 20%. All right, y'all. So I would suggest every time you get paid to save 20% of your paycheck and put it aside. So when it's time to do taxes and the government say you owe them, you have the money set aside, ready to pay them. No problems, you guys. No problems. That's my suggestion to you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys what happened to me and what I did. So when I went to file my taxes, when I went to file my taxes for that 6 weeks that I worked, I made over $6,000. Even though on Medely I was supposed to work 40 hours and collect $932 for the week, I worked a couple hours overtime, so I made more money. I got like over $1,000 every week. So at the end of the 6 week, when Medely sent me that 1099 in the mail, I made a total of over $6,000 and change. So when I went to file my taxes, of course, New York State and federal said I owe them money. But there's a lot of tax breaks, you guys. There's a lot of tax breaks that can cut that down. So I put tax breaks with my uniforms. The job was in Queens. I had to pay tolls every day. And I would suggest to you guys that you guys save your receipts just in case. So I had to pay tolls to go back and forth from Queens. I had to pay for gas. I had to pay for scrubs. I had to buy a new stethoscope because I didn't had one at the time. I lost the one that I had. Anything you pay for towards the job, make sure you save your receipt and add them up and put them on your taxes so you can get tax breaks, and it could also reduce the amount of money you owe the government. So at the end of filing my taxes, I only had to pay the government back $188, which is not bad, because I'm pretty sure if you have a regular job, you're paying more than $188 every paycheck. So that's not bad. All right, so we're gonna talk about housing. If you're doing a travel assignment, so let's just say this, because my first contract job was in New York and I live in New York, even though it was still a travel assignment, because it was in the same state, I did not get any housing stipend for that contract job. But if you are traveling to another state or another location out of your region, you will get travel stipend, and with that, you will get housing stipend, and with that housing stipend, that's the money you're gonna use to look an apartment or whatever you choose to do. Also, Medely gives you options to long stay hotels. They have, like, I guess, contracts with hotels and stuff like that where you could get like discounts if you want to stay at a long stay hotel. They give you a list of those as well when you sign up. They also give you like some referral links to houses where you can rent houses for like month-to-month basis instead of like a whole year lease. They provide all those information for you guys, and they also give you guys housing stipend. But there's a twist to this. Medely, you have a choice. You can either do housing stipend or you can let the company find a place for you to stay. But with that, you might not like where they provide you a house, or you might not like the house, you might not like the area. So you can take the money, the housing stipend, and look for somewhere that will be comfortable for you, or where you know you will have easy access to get to work. Whatever best suits you, you do you. All right, you guys, so that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope that this video is able to help somebody out. If you are a travel medical assistant, I am so happy for you. If you are in the process of becoming a travel medical assistant, I wish you nothing but the best. It's really the best of both worlds. You get to travel the world, travel to different states, see different stuff, experience different cultures, different things, and still work and make money at the same time. So why not? But that's it for you guys today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Vlogmas day 16. Bye.